baseball to football, dance teams, and marching bands, Aubrey's has helped schools and youth programs generate thousands of dollars. It's easy for us to do because it's the right thing to do. So the next time you're looking to choose a place to eat, we hope you'll choose Aubrey's. Real comfort, real food, real good. See what's on the menu at aubreysrestaurants.com.
Merlin's Music World in Maryville is owned and operated by Dylan Davis and has been a fixture in Maryville since 1987. Guitars, amplifiers, lessons, sound system, and video system installations are products available at Merlin's. Merlin's also offers a 24-track digital recording studio featuring audio engineer Rusty Chambers. Visit Merlin's at 1920 East Lamar Alexander Parkway or call 977-0093.
We all want our loved ones to be safe. Denso in Maryville is at the forefront of creating technology for safer vehicles. Join the automotive industry with Denso in a fast, challenging, clean, and safe environment. They offer great benefits and competitive pay, as well as a convenient on-site healthcare facility, cafes, fitness center, and more. Start your future now. Entry-level production positions start at $16 an hour for second or third shift. Visit densocareers.com/Maryville to learn more and apply.
The Bluetick.
And welcome back to the Go-To Sports page. And this is Marcus Fitzsimmons filling in for the injured Mike Edwards, who we are threatening to send Joe Black to his house if he doesn't make it back to the show next week and get better. Donnie, I understand we've got a lot going on in high school sports. Does that sound about right?
We do, as usual. We'll start off with our local scoreboard brought to you by Mandy B Street Realty. We had some action last night in our spring sports world. We'll bring you a few baseball scores here to start off with. Maryville Christian School hosted Volunteer last night. Volunteer won that one 7-5. Greenback hosted Trousdale County last night. Greenback had a victory down at Greenback, 9-5. Congratulations to the Cherokees. And I'll just bring you the scores that I have. Eagleton was playing in the Irish Royals Classic over in Cumberland County. Couldn't find a score on that one. Heritage beat up on Seymour 9-3 at Seymour.
And great game by their pitcher, and I'm blanking on his name because I didn't sleep enough last night. But he had just a great performance. But it was the second game in a row for Heritage where in the first two innings they gave a pitcher a huge cushion to work with.
That's great. Boy, pitchers always love that.
They had a first inning grand slam against Gibbs earlier in the week.
Right.
And then I think they took a 4-0 lead in the second inning against Seymour to kind of stake their pitcher to, and some easy, stress-free pitching there.
Good deal. Congratulations to the Mountaineers. Maryville traveled to Oak Ridge last night and won a contest over there 9-3. Put up 9. When you put up 9 runs in a game, you should win that one, right? And
maybe.
Yeah,
maybe
it happens sometimes.
The rules are changing on this.
You got that right. And the Govs won one versus at home at Charlie Paleo Field last night versus Morristown East 4-2. So congratulations to the Govs last night.
And Charlie Paleo Field's looking pretty good.
It is, isn't it?
It really is. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on at William Blount, and we've got some guests from the school going to join us here shortly. But the whole area looked really good. And I got to say, the only thing missing is they've got to get that bronze statue of Charlie.
Yeah.
They really need that.
They need that, don't
maybe in center field, like above the fence.
Gazing down on the
gazing down on
the lush
field.
Green field there.
Because if there's anything that you want Charlie to be remembered for, it's the fact he cut the grass.
Right. Exactly.
Could there be something that the kids maintain that is a more natural mustache rather than just bronze? Could it be like actual human hair that they take care of throughout the year?
That would be a great idea.
Okay.
It would.
You're welcome.
That would be really
Nice idea.
like if they would do the statue in bronze, they could get like one of those bathroom brushes things to make the mustache out of. Okay,
Not a bad idea.
I like that. He's going to call. I know he is.
All right. Yeah, he's going to let us know about that one. National letters of intent signed this week. We've got several, so let's get right to them. Noah Jinks from Heritage High School signed with Union University, signed with the Bulldogs, a D2 school in Jackson, Tennessee, signed with Cross Country, so congratulations to Noah. William Blount High School had several right here. Let me get right to them. Nate Ray from William Blount signed with Cleveland State Community College to continue his education and his athletic career with baseball. Also with William Blount, Tate Romero signed with Maryville College to continue her career with softball. Ainsley Miller, William Blount, signed with Missouri Valley to play lacrosse. Congratulations to Ainsley. Brett Cortez from William Blount signed with Cumberland University to play football. Addie Hahn with William Blount signed with Pellissippi State. The brand new Pellissippi State
Volleyball finished their first season this year.
Did
So
they?
this-
Okay,
just-
so
they're going
this
to be
is
playing.
they're going to be playing starting their
season two in the
second
fall.
season to play
But she's-
volleyball.
But it's still a Kiel plate owner. As
It
far
is,
as
no
found
kidding.
in that program.
Yeah, but they're going to be starting some brand new seasons this coming up season. Caden Wendell signed with from William Blount signed with Johnson University to play basketball. All-time leading scorer over at William Blount and a great.
Huge get for Johnson.
Oh, yeah,
and,
no kidding.
Coach came down yesterday and actually went on. I think he got the Scott Cup bump going on YouTube or Twitter with the AD while he was there. So that's
a
huge get for them.
It sure is.
I think the coach couldn't say, but I'm pretty sure that's the first Mr. Basketball finalist they've ever signed.
Yeah, well, that is a great get for Johnson University. Nikki Adams from William Blount signed with Tennessee Wesleyan University to play lacrosse. Another lacrosse player, Chloe Blair from William Blount, also signed with Tennessee Wesleyan. Congratulations. And Emma Young from Alcoa signed with LMU, Lincoln Memorial University, to be a part of their wrestling program next year. So congratulations to all these fine athletes in our area to continue their athletic and academic careers at the next level.
And you're giving me the perfect segue there.
Do that.
Because yesterday was Cup signing day at William Blount where they get everybody out there. And between that and between what was going on in Alcoa, it was the two fastest growing sports in the state were well represented because we had girls lacrosse and girls wrestling, which are showing tremendous growth and interest within the area. So I thought it was kind of apt that we had 4 signings from that in one day.
Yep.
All going on to play on the next level.
Great. Well, I got one more item right here on local.
Would this be the basketball game that took place after we did the show last week?
No.
Do we need to mention that one?
Well, we should probably. I didn't put that in there, but that was indeed noteworthy.
I'm gonna run the shameless plug. Alcoa did win the state basketball championship on Saturday, so congratulations to them.
The Tornadoes.
Javin was MVP again.
Yeah.
And if you missed any of that, there's a special section in today's edition of the Daily Times commemorating the state tournament run.
Good deal. When Pellissippi State Community College Athletics Director Brock Evans was looking for someone to coach the newly formed men's basketball program, he wanted a person with experience who was a good recruiter. He didn't have to look far. Alcoa High School graduate and all-stater as a Tornado during his playing days from 1997 to 2001, Darren Jones filled the bill nicely. Since college graduation, Jones has coached at Hiawassee College, Walters State, and Tennessee Wesleyan University. The Panthers of Pellissippi State will play their first season of basketball this fall, with home games being played at the Hardin Valley campus. So congratulations to Pellissippi State Community College and their new coach, Darren Jones.
and it's another good get for Pellissippi.
It is.
To get an Alcoa coach, or Alcoa alum for a coach. And also, you know, we don't brag on him enough, but the guy orchestrating all that madness at Pellissippi, Brock Evans.
Yeah.
Maryville, part of that 74-game winning streak.
Indeed. Indeed. Well, I want to tell you that you're listening to WKCE 92.5 FM and 1180 AM Mid-Century Radio. And I'm going to throw a fastball now to behind the plate over here to our veteran sports writer Marcus Fitzsimmons for his segment, Mark It Down.
Well, thanks, Donnie.
You're welcome.
We got the good smooth transition. And we have special guests today.
We
have a full house. And I'm going to have them all mic up now down the end down there. And you can see them. William Blunt Lacrosse is in the house. And they had a huge day today, or yesterday rather. And Coach Sally Joins is with us. She has brought 4 of the Lady Govs. And I'm going to open this with a clarifier. So for people who are not aware of the situation, this is the final season for lacrosse being a club sport. Come next school year, TSSAA has sanctioned boys and girls lacrosse. So they'll be official sports. They'll be covered under the TSSAA rules, the insurance, all of that. They'll be official sanctioned sports. So there is support structures coming for these programs. But
sanctioning is a good thing.
After yesterday, it felt like we needed to talk a little bit about what's going on at William Blunt, because we had not only we had 3 signings, but we also, you know, looking at the record, 8-1 start to the season, and from what I understand, there was a huge win very recently. And so, Coach, I'm going to pick on you a little bit, but tell me about how big this was to get a win in West Knoxville. Is that?
Listen.
What does that mean? I mean, we know what that means in basketball. What does that mean in lacrosse? Is it the same thing?
Oh, it's every bit the same thing. We are so excited. You know, Bearden, they're a well-coached, well-played team, and to get in there and be able to come back as winners, it gave our girls a huge boost. That was our first game of the season, so we walked away from that with the confidence knowing that we could do great things. That's not to take away from Bearden. They're a quality program, but we're excited to know that this year we just have a little upper edge on them.
Well, we know how the school William Blunt celebrated when they broke the 40-game losing streak to Bearden in basketball. Is it the same kind of thing? Are they that good of a program?
They did make it to playoffs last year. We'll just kind of leave it at that. They did. Again, they have a lot of investment in their program. They've been around longer than us. Now, like us, they've went through some changes where they've went from a co-op program to an independent program. But we definitely feel like they've had the upper hand for a couple years, and we've scrimmaged them for years. We've lost to them for years. So to walk away with that winning scoreboard, it sure felt good.
So is 8-1 the best start for the club team? Does that sound right?
Absolutely. Our winning record, so William Blunt Lacrosse has been around for 3 years now as a club program, and the most number of games we've ever won in one season was 8 games. So to be at this point now where we have half a season left to go and we have won 8 games, we're ready to keep that flow going.
All right, so you've got 4 Lady Govs down there.
Yes, sir.
And we've got 2 of them on microphones right now. Which 2 do we have on right now? Because I have a list of Mackenzie, Allison, Nameen, and Mercy. Who do we have on?
Well, right now we have Mercy Harrell, who is a freshman with Lady Govs, and then Allison Joins is a junior. Both of these young ladies have done an amazing job representing our sport, and last year were recognized as being all-region players for us, which is huge. And not to take away from Allison as a junior, but for Mercy as an 8th grader last year, because we don't have a middle school program, she played up on the varsity level, and to have that recognition as an 8th grader, we are so excited about where she's going with this sport. And Allison, too. They're both rock stars on the field.
So, Allison, we'll give you the tough question.
Okay.
This season isn't over, but how much excitement is there around this program that you all are going to finally be a varsity sport next year with TSSAA?
This has been something we have all been looking forward to so much. Like, it was supposed to happen my freshman year, and then COVID happened, and it all got pushed back. And so it's been something we'd been talking about, and we're like, oh, is it really going to happen? So we are also excited to get to be an actual recognized sport as a school. Scott Cupp, our athletic director, has already done so much to recognize us as even just a club sport, but to have that finalization of we're really here and we're here to stay, we're all so excited about it and ready for it to happen.
And a little bit about this season. Were you expecting the team to come off to this good of a start?
We honestly no. We came in excited. Our off season, I feel like everyone here would agree, has been the hardest or preseason we've ever had. Conditioning was intense. Coach really emphasized everything we do be game-like, and so I think we really all went in with a different mentality. And we all wanted to win, but I don't think any of us really expected to have this great of a start. And looking at film and for the rest of our season, hope it's going to keep going this way. But there's some good competition. But, yeah, this has been crazy exciting to have this good of a start.
All right, so we're going to go with this one. Because this sport is so new to the area, this is a general interest. How did you find lacrosse, or did lacrosse find you, or did a stick fall out of somebody's life? I mean, how did this exactly happen?
Okay, so I started playing lacrosse when I was in 6th grade. It wasn't Lady Govs. I was playing with a team called Lady Twisters. One day I got home from middle school, the 6th grade year, and Mom was like, hey, what are you doing today? I was like, oh, nothing. And she's like, okay, let's go to a lacrosse practice. And I was like, what is that? I had no idea. And I went, and ever since then, I never stopped playing, and I can't imagine not playing.
Well, Mercy, give me the same thing. How did lacrosse find you, or did you find lacrosse?
Well, I started in 6th grade as well. I was living in Wisconsin, and they don't have girls lacrosse up there. It's just guys there. And they had co-ed teams, and it was the start of COVID, and I didn't want to be stuck inside. And we heard of the co-ed team, and we're like, okay, let's go out and try it. So I fell in love with it. I had to play like a guy. I had to wear the helmet, the padding, but I fell in love with it. And then I moved here, and then I had to relearn the whole sport because girls and guys lacrosse is like a completely different sport. And I've just continued to grow with it, and don't want to stop playing.
You've opened the door that I was hoping somebody would, which for those who can remember this, there was a point 48 years ago, I guess, Donnie, where there were different rules for boys and girls basketball in this state.
Mm-hmm.
That all went away. Now they play basketball the same. But with lacrosse, there are different sets of rules, and it's a little bit different between them. Can you give us some of the examples? Like, what's different between the two?
Yeah, it's a lot more physical playing guys. That's why we have to wear padding. Like, just get hit with the stick a lot, and then just kind of the setup of the game. I think it's a little bit more, I wouldn't say more complex, but you definitely have to work a little bit harder to get what you want with the ball because it is so aggressive. But both girls and guys is amazing.
Coach, we talked a little bit about this yesterday, but when you've got a sport that is not only going to be new at TSSAA, but it's a club sport, but it's not something that's taught in PE class. It's not like basketball and volleyball and some of those things that get done in elementary education. You're having to teach a sport from scratch. How difficult does that make it with the club to get that instruction in?
It's definitely been a learning curve, and it will continue to be a learning curve until we have established feeder programs for our schools. Lacrosse, a lot of people know nothing about it. Now, I joke with my players that it's a good thing because their daddies aren't telling them how to play. But, sorry, no offense to the dads in the world.
It's a great point.
That's a really good point.
But it really does make it easier for us all to figure it out as we're going along. We have been very lucky to have the support of the Seymour coach, Patrick Doyle. Seymour has the most established program in our community, or in East Tennessee. He has helped send us coaches who know the game, who played at the collegiate level. So he sent them our way to help get these girls equipped with the knowledge they need to know to play. We are working towards having more developmental programs in the area so that the girls aren't picking up a stick for the first time as freshmen in high schools. We recognize that that's the only way we are going to continue to be competitive because other schools in our area in Knox County and Sevier County, they already have that going for them. And so we are definitely at a deficit, recognizing that, gosh, nominate one of our girls who will speak later. She didn't start playing until she was a sophomore. A lot of our girls don't start playing until they hit high school, so we've got to find ways to bridge that gap. Fingers crossed that once we hit TSSA, we will be able to have more support from the schools to get in there.
So, maybe I should bring Donnie into this, but like, how do we get this added to the curriculum for Blount County schools to be part of the PE class? I mean, how do you get something added to the curriculum?
Well, that's something that the high schools themselves can take care of. I mean, that's a thing that you can go ahead and add. It doesn't have to be county approved.
Well, we obviously need to start a petition then.
Yeah.
A sports page petition to get it added.
Yeah, you can do that.
Yep.
I mean, you can add it to high school. Just go ahead and teach it.
Or the other side, you need some alums to come back and be PE teachers. That's what you need.
Absolutely. I think that one thing that these girls have learned by being part of this, bottom of the beginning of lacrosse, that they want to make it better for kids in the future. If as you talked yesterday to our girls who were signing, they are all anxious to come back and help this program grow. We have a couple young ladies who are already off at college who will be graduating soon. Fingers crossed that they will come back and feed into that. But these girls, I don't think there's any one of them here who wouldn't jump in and help a PE teacher teach class. One of the challenges we have is equipment is expensive. And to get enough equipment to go into a middle school program and have sticks and goggles and balls for everyone, that's something that we'll have to work to overcome. Again, with the sanctioning coming and extra funding and extra support, maybe we can make that happen. Or by the time these girls have played a few years and upgraded the equipment, we'll at least have some used equipment that we could get out there and let kids get in their hands.
Okay, so you made a good point. Dads can't tell them how to play. Do parents know enough to be vocal about calls in lacrosse?
No, for the record, no. I hope all my parents hear that right now. Sometimes parents are excited, and especially this season, we've had some exciting games, and I will never complain about parent support. But the reality of it is we're all still learning. Parents, it's hard to understand why in the world the whistle blows all day long in a lacrosse game, but the game keeps going. The girls do a lot of self-starts. They blow a whistle for a minor foul, and our girls know to get 4 behind and let that person keep going with the ball.
Okay, here we go. Time out. We got to explain this because this has confused me to no end, and I know nobody at the table can answer that question. Right. What does it? The whistle blows, y'all keep playing, but something goes on. But what happens when the whistle blows? What's supposed to happen?
Well, now, depending. If it's a minor foul, the girls are supposed to stop for just a minute, get 4 behind their player, and then the girls can self-start. Allison, do you want to give a description of this better from the player side?
Yeah, it was definitely super confusing when you first started. But, if you have a minor foul, you really can just keep playing. You keep running. And if you have a more major foul like a card, then you stop play and have a whistle start. There's two. You have a self-start or a whistle start. Self-start, you can stop and be like, I want 4 meters, I want space. Or you can just keep going, keep that momentum going down the field. It's
hard. I have to tell you, as lacrosse has developed, the rules have changed, just been tweaked every year to make it a safer situation for girls. As you talk about, with Mercy, boys have full gear, padding, shoulder helmets, everything. Girls, it's a non-contact sport, but there's a lot of physicality in there. So they've kind of tweaked some of the rules as we go along to ensure safe play.
Yeah, soccer's a non-contact sport too,
right.
But
we've seen that.
I've seen that more. But it sounds like a combination somewhere between soccer, baseball, and basketball as to how those whistles. That
absolutely.
I'm glad that umpires don't have whistles in baseball. That would make it even longer. So, I guess where I wanted to go with it a little bit was, you got to start. So where's the program? Like you're not playing at the high school. You're over at Union Grove?
Right now we do use the space at Union Grove Middle School as ours. And we're very happy to have that. It's a great facility. It definitely has some challenges with a field that's not been maintained really well for the last few years, but we make the best of it and are happy to call it home for now.
Okay, before we go into the break, I want to get the players to explain this one to me. What's the correct terminology for what you're wearing, the helmet? Is it really just called a stick, or is it just a stick?
Yeah, I wish we had a fancier name, but yep, you got a stick. You got
But
your
it's-
goggles.
But it's not just a stick. Like, there's a basket on the end. It's more complicated than just running around with a broom handle, right?
Do you want to explain?
I don't.
It's just it's pretty you got a long shaft and then you got it's basically like how do I even explain
It's
it?
a net.
Like a little net. Yeah, but we just call it our lacrosse sticks. Yeah, I wish it had a fancy term for it, but yeah.
But you all aren't getting to wear, I mean, you talked about padding for the guys, but you all aren't really wearing all that much, right?
We have a mouth guard, and that's pretty much our mouth guard and goggles, and that's our protection for the game.
So injuries kind of, I would guess, are kind of normal.
Can we fire Donnie?
Well, the good thing is that's the backup camera right now, so the girls are still on the
Please
air.
do.
But so you've got a helmet, but like I'm gonna guess like
Good grief.
bruises and some broken fingers and
Oh.
things like that can kind of pile up.
Yeah, I think Mercy would definitely agree. The sport
Oh, she's sitting
makes
over
you.
there holding it up.
Yeah. You
I'm
get
not used to this
bruised.
thing being in my way.
But yeah, I think Mercy would agree with me too. It makes you tough. Like
You-
you were tough. It makes you much tougher.
Your arms by the end of the game are gonna have bruises all over. Knees are gonna be roughed up from falling. Your head, getting hit with the stick sometimes, but it makes you strong.
It does. It really does.
Okay, well, you all hang around because we've still got 2 more players to talk to. We're going to go into a commercial break, but we'll be right back, and we'll go into the Anderson Lumber Company Player of the Week. This is the Blount County Sports page, your voice in Blount County sports.
The Bluetick Tavern is home to the tastiest pizza in Blount County. Try our signature Broadway barbecue pizza, grilled chicken and red onions covered in mounds of mozzarella. Or sink your teeth into our one-of-a-kind chicken and bacon pizza, made with an olive oil base, grilled chicken, bacon, red onions, and covered in Brussels petals. The Bluetick Tavern also has salads, sandwiches, and the area's largest beer selection. Regularly recognized as the best pizza in Blount County, it's the Bluetick Tavern, located at 128 West Broadway in downtown Maryville. The Roger L. Newman Company began in 1984 with a vision of providing Blount County with excellent heating and cooling service. Mr. Newman also wanted a real business. No gimmicks and no high-pressure sales. They just fix it or replace it. They want to stay within your budget and make you comfortable. Their motto still stands true today. Call us first, we'll be there. Call Roger L. Newman Company at 982-5446 or visit online at rogerlnewman.com. Cooler temperatures are approaching. Upgrade your furnace now for as little as $50 a month.
Your newspaper? That's right. The Daily Times is your newspaper, tailored to where you live, emphasizing the things that affect you and keeping track of the people and players in our community. The award-winning Daily Times can be delivered each morning right to your door or inbox with the latest in local news and sports. For a 30-day free trial offer, call 981-1100 and begin enjoying your life, your times, every day with the Daily Times.
For over 50 years and 3 generations, the people of Blount County have trusted Stevenson Tire with their vehicles and their families. Our mission has always been simple: to provide quality products at reasonable prices with exceptional customer service. Featuring tire products from Michelin, BF Goodrich, Uniroyal, Bridgestone, Firestone, and Yokohama, Stevenson Tire also offers alignment and brake services at affordable prices. Stevenson Tire Company, 2411 East Broadway Avenue in Maryville. Call 983-1621 or online at StevensonTire.net. Waters Equipment is your East Tennessee New Holland agriculture and construction dealer. Waters Equipment has been serving Blount County for 48 years and has 2 locations in Maryville for sales and service for New Holland equipment. Offering shop and field service for trucks and equipment of all brands, Waters offers equipment rentals for New Holland skid steer, Mini X, and tractors. Call 238-9000 for your rental needs. That's 238-9000. Waters Equipment New Holland. Excellence in service.
Welcome back to the Bluetick Tavern in downtown Maryville. This is not Mike Edwards. This is Marcus Fitzsimmons filling in along with the rest of our broadcast crew. And now it's time for the Sports Page Player of the Week featuring some guy named Marcus. Sponsored by Anderson Lumber Company, where quality service is always a priority, proudly serving Blount County for over 75 years. And we're going to start this open. We're going to continue with William Blount Lacrosse. And I didn't warn Coach that this was part of what we do, but Player of the Week, the guy sitting next to you actually provides us plaques for the Players of the Week. Your captains for this 8-1 season are recipients this week.
Hey.
So,
Very good, girls. Whoop, whoop.
Cool.
so you have the Player of the Week,
Thank you.
and there we go. All right, so we switched off.
Yes.
We made a line change. That doesn't happen?
Subs.
Okay.
It's all good.
It's all right. So, introduce who we
All
have
right.
now.
So next up we have Mackenzie Willis. Mackenzie is one of our captains this year. She is a senior, so this is her last season with us. Mackenzie is also committed to play lacrosse at the Cumberlands next season, so we're excited for her. And then we have Nominee Carter, who is a junior with us, and Nominee's been playing 2 years now.
Yes.
She's a solid defender on the field, and you might want to be a little scared of her. Let me just tell you that.
Is she your enforcer?
She definitely does her job.
She looks like she might enjoy the job.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about the mindset that goes into a defender.
So defender, you never want to think that the player that you're going against, that they're always better than you. You always have to be headstrong in that you're going in as, I'm doing this, I'm going to try my best. If they beat me, then you're going to get back up and you're going to try that again.
So, because, well, again, there's a lot of people don't understand this, and we're still learning this ourselves, but it's not like you can just beat them with that stick to keep. It's more a matter of positioning. It's a lot
Yes.
more like basketball with footwork
No.
than it is with hitting them, I should say.
Yes.
Okay. So does it translate to like soccer or to basketball? And how you defend? Is there a comparison there?
I'm not really sure just because I don't really play any other sport than this, but there are a lot of calls that you can get when you're playing defense. Like, if you have a horizontal stick, you are automatically called for that. You can't, like, put your arms out all the way. That is an automatic call. It's really a special skill that you have to do to play defense with that. It's just so many rules.
Now, you were holding up the finger earlier.
Yes.
Is that finger by chance injured?
Yes. I thought for a while that I'd broken it, but I have no idea. It's completely bruised. It's all purple and gray, but it goes well with the pink nails, so I'm vibing with it.
I like that comparison. That is not something we typically get when it comes to the injury description, so I'm going to go with that. Mackenzie, you got Coach mentioned you've committed to Cumberland's. Did it feel like recruiting is really taking off with lacrosse? Does it feel like there's a lot of colleges trying to get on board?
Yes, there is. Especially like down here, like closer to Tennessee and stuff. Tennessee, it's really sparking off. Colleges are trying to grab as many as possible because all the girls are really hungry for the sport right now. All of the high schoolers are really like finding that it is a lot of fun to play lacrosse, and the colleges want that drive to play and to be better, and so they're picking everyone that they can up.
So I said I was going to ask everybody that question. Yeah, we're going to change the question for you two. If you were talking to 5th and 6th graders and were trying to sell lacrosse, what would you tell them is the best thing about the sport, why they should get involved?
I would probably tell them kind of like a life kind of thing that's happened with me, because I didn't have a lot of confidence before I went to lacrosse, and it kind of gave me a family to kind of give me that extra boost and stuff. And so I would tell them that, like, hey, if you just want people to have, like, for lifetime, like, I would call these girls anytime and they would show up to help me with anything. And if they want something to, like, push them to be better, not just in the sport but in life, because they can learn a lot of good attributes and a lot of good goals from lacrosse, I would tell them that they should at least just give it a shot. And if they don't like it, that's fine, but I have a feeling they'll like it if they try it.
Nominee, what would you say besides, let's say, to sell the fact that broken fingers are okay?
So actually when I joined, I didn't know any of the girls. Like, I knew somewhat who they were just because we were in, like, the same classes. But out of this, you really do get a family, like Kenzie said. It is absolutely amazing. Not only do you get a family out of this, you can learn life skills, like leadership skills when you can lead people on the field. That is absolutely amazing. Teamwork. you can't do anything if you don't have a team with this lacrosse. You have to get along with those people, and you have to just, like I said, they're like family. And life skills like time management, leadership, it's absolutely great.
Coach, I'm going to put you on a little bit of a background filler for us. How does lacrosse break down right now structure-wise as far as classifications, and how does that kind of work right now? Where does William Blount fall?
Right. It's changed, again, in trying to prepare for TSSA sanctioning. So we are now, lacrosse is small school, big school category, and then private school, public school. So we are considered a small school. So in our region, directly we have West High School, Heritage High School, and then in other small school categories when we hit playoffs, which we will definitely, hopefully, make it this year, we will be up teams such as Seymour, Gatlinburg, Pittman, Sevier County, and a few others that I can't bring to mind right now.
So is that structure likely? Do you know, is that likely what TSSA is going to adopt, or is it going to be?
That structure was built upon advice from TSSA.
Okay.
So we may have some more schools add to that as they decide to add lacrosse to their sports programs, but right now that was given the advice of TSSA to build that. And
you all are going to be a spring sport?
We are.
Okay, because there was talk about that at one point as to whether it was going to be opposite of soccer.
As of 2025, when sanctioning does go into place, we are going to be a spring sport. That could change. That's what I'm learning. Things change every time you blink around here, but right now that's our plan.
Well, while we appreciate some of what they do, the TSSA is not always. We're not always their biggest fans when it comes to some things around the show.
Absolutely.
But they do have benefits, and so we'll say.
We do have a lot of girls who cross over and play soccer. Two of the young ladies up here played soccer during the fall. So we love that it's opposite of soccer so that we can have some carryover from one sport to the other. Both sports are very complementary of each other. And if they're not playing lacrosse, we need them doing something to stay in shape.
So, Mackenzie, I heard this described yesterday as the lacrosse cult. Which implies, I'm not saying you all kidnap people, but it seems like there is a lot of closeness and a lacrosse mindset, per se. I heard somebody just say yesterday, football players are great, but they wear pads. So, is there a cult around this? Is there a toughness? Is there like?
Well, that saying came along because we were talking about how close knit we are and everything, and like if you mess with one of us, all of us are gonna show up. Like we're all gonna be like, hey. It's not right. But we definitely, the family part is a better word than cult.
Okay, family. Let's go with family. That's a great.
That's good.
We kind of, I don't remember who mentioned us like being a cult like the other day, but we heard that and we were like, well, we are a family, so I guess it kind of, if that's what you want to say.
And I think it's because you may be picking off athletes in the school and finding people in the school, and maybe some other teams are jealous of what the athletes you're developing on the team.
They could be. I don't really know that one.
Coach, is that what happens? Is you getting both, where you're getting athletes that are coming over from other sports?
Absolutely.
And you're also developing athletes at the same time?
Absolutely. If someone comes to us with an athletic background, they are definitely easier to coach the skills, but we will teach anyone who has the heart and the hustle to do it. If you are excited about doing it, we're going to bring you in. We are a cult or a family because we focus on teamwork and growing our relationships. When you're an underdog, people don't know about lacrosse. Telling your parents you want to go play this sport in the middle of the winter when it's freezing cold and they have to buy all this equipment so you can do this, it's a hard sell. But if we win them over with saying that this family develops, and every kid needs community. And that is what we tried to do with lacrosse, is give these girls a place where they know this is a safe place. We're going to try to be competitive and win games, but more than anything, we want to win them over as being leaders in the community, doing great things, and knowing that they will always have someone have their back. And we spent a lot of time focusing on that character development and team development. In our off season, we found ourselves climbing ropes in the middle of the mountains just to try to build more trust and relationships so that they have that going into the season. Because what happens off the field shows up on the field.
So I'm going to give you the chance. You were nice enough to come join us this morning, but there are other coaches and there's a school sponsor. Kind of give us some of those shout outs. So who else is involved with
Thank you.
William
Thank you
Blount
for
Lacrosse
reminding
program?
that, because listen, I just here am here to try to keep these girls organized. We have 2 amazing coaches who played collegiate lacrosse. Jasmine Thompson, she was a player at Seymour in the beginning of their program and then went off to play Tennessee Westland. She has a great coaching history. She coached at St. Andrews College. She coached at Catholic High School, and then she came and has chosen to spend her time with us teaching these girls what they need to know. We have Riley Norris, who just graduated from Berry College last year, where she had a great lacrosse career there, and she has came in and jumped in with these girls and brought another level of experience to the sidelines with them, and we're so blessed to have them. But again, we couldn't do this without the connection to our school. Natalie Willis, who is actually the school attendance secretary, she helps make sure that we have all the plugs at the school to find a place to eat our pregame meals, to help line up buses, to do all the things we need to do to be, as we call, the fake team at the school. You know, we're not TSSA, we're not official yet, but we are doing all the things to be the wannabes. We are as in as we can be without having that official stamp of approval. And then I got to, Allison mentioned him earlier, Scott Cupp. He, does all he can to support us in the capacity that he is, and we are very grateful for that, because without him saying, yes, you can wear the William Blount logo, you can represent our school, we couldn't be here. So all these people behind the scenes are what's making this possible for these girls. 4 young ladies are going to college this year to play lacrosse from William Blount High School, and that's pretty respectable. Doors have opened for them that they never knew were even there to be opened.
And by my count yesterday, you all were leading the signing count between the teams.
Yes, we were. You remind Mr. Cup of that. We need a little shout out. Just saying. We 4 young ladies, and I have to tell you, we have a junior who is already committed, Carrie Coulter. She has made her verbal commitment to college. Allison, I'll throw her on the spot. She has several offers that she's entertaining. A couple of our other juniors have already started that conversations with college coaches. So I expect that 2025 we'll be talking about this again with several other people heading off.
Okay, so. But players back on the spot. Mackenzie, we're familiar with all the rivalries from let's call them the other sports. We know like William Blount Heritage, Maryville Alcoa. Do those rivalries already transition into the club sports, or is it a little bit different because not everybody has a team sort of thing?
Well, some of them do transfer over, just because we've played with some of them. We used to be the Blount County Bulldogs before we all had to split and through like COVID and everything, and so we know some of the girls on other teams. So it sparks a competitiveness whenever it comes to the players against players. I knew a bunch of girls on the Heritage's team, so I really look forward to playing them. And I know some girls from Maryville and Alcoa's team. I know a few girls all the way up into Pigeon Forge. So whenever I do see them on the field, like we like to pick at each other while we're on the field. So there's a competitiveness, but it's not like how it is in other sports. It's like more of a friendly competitiveness.
I'm not sure I saw a head shake beside you on that about the friendliness part.
I told you, be scared of nominating.
Yeah.
I'm just going to, it just feels that you might be the one with the chip on the shoulders with the team.
No.
But y'all are playing, I mean, right now there's a lot of disparity between what you all have facility-wise and like what Sevier County opted to do where they're put in that artificial turf with lacrosse lines already on it. And teams have been around for a decade. When you're playing some of these more established programs, are you all going in with the underdog mentality, or do you all go in there feeling like you're on par, we can play with anybody?
We definitely go in like we're wanting to win. Like Coach T always says, you got to want it. And we go in with that mindset. We're never going in like we're going to lose, because if we go in like that, then that's how we're going to play. I mean, there's no other way about that. But we always give it our all. We never think that we're the underdogs, because we work just as hard as they do, if not more. Like, we work hard, practice how you play. So that's how that goes.
Coach, I know we're running short on time because Donnie's giving me a little head shake, but you all have traveled around. Some of the disparity between, say, you go to Williamson County around Nashville and you go and look at Ravenwood, or you go and look at Father Ryan, or you go and look at Innsworth, versus what we're doing here, it feels like when this becomes a sport, we're going to see the postseason kind of dominated in the beginning from Middle Tennessee. Does that sound accurate?
Middle Tennessee definitely has established programs and more resources that we do. We traveled to play them last year, and it wasn't pretty. We walked in, and the size of their facilities and what they had, it was intimidating to us. But as Nominee said, we went in there trying to do our best. They outplayed us. However, they came to us this year, and we were very happy to say that we scored a win over Franklin Road this year. Proud of that. So we are definitely have some momentum behind us. Established programs, they have resources we don't, but we have the grit and we have the heart and the hustle to want it, and the girls are getting it done. We'd sure like to have some of their bells and whistles, though, for sure.
So towards that end,
Yes, sir.
to close this out, if somebody out there listening has a daughter who they want to get involved in lacrosse, maybe they don't. Maybe they're in William Blunt's district. Maybe their kids go somewhere else. How do you get started? Who do they need to contact? How do you find your coach?
I encourage them, contact me, I'll tell them where they need to go. Because, seriously, we have been at this where we were looking everywhere, and we talk about the community of lacrosse. Everyone in East Tennessee has been on the struggle bus of trying to figure out where to find coaches and players and opportunities. So we work together. There's a travel program over the summer. The Tusculum coach, the LMU coach, they come out and they coach it. It's based out of Seymour. Everyone's welcome to come and be part of the Smoky Mountain Shine program. There's other clinics that we hope to put on to connect everyone. But any coach in our area of any team is going to point the kid in the right direction. Even if they're not a William Blunt kid, I will plug them into where they need to go, because we want this sport to thrive, not just at William Blunt High School, but all over East Tennessee. These girls deserve it. They work too hard to get a reputation of respect and hard work that they have put in the work to get to TWSA sanctioning.
So Google William Blunt Lacrosse. There's an email address on there. You
Absolutely.
can get in touch with Coach Joins, and she can hook you up if you've got somebody that's interested. I'll ask the players one more time. Hold up that sign for Anderson Lumber Company and for Goatees for Player of the Week. Congratulations.
Get a shot of that.
And I think I feel it's well earned at 8-1, and we wish you the best of success for the rest of the season.
Absolutely. We have some great games coming
we'll
up.
We'll cross unbroken fingers for y'all make the postseason.
Marcus, this segment's far from over. We've got the hard-hitting questions to come, and Donnie's been gracious enough to give me a couple of minutes. I've heard you guys mention Scott Cupp. He was the athletic director of the year last year for the sports page.
Yes.
Has he asked you to mention him during this segment to kind of promote his move for 2 years in a row? Did he do that?
Absolutely not. We are just so thankful.
I'm not believing that. I don't believe it. Okay. Coach, would you mind handing your headset over to the other two girls? You guys can use that mic, because here are the hard-hitting questions. Now, here's why this matters. I don't come on the show much, but last time that I did, I asked your classmates on the football team these same questions. And they went on to win, like 3 more straight games? To open the season? I have to think I'm a good luck charm. Okay. Number 1, who has the best Instagram game?
Oh, definitely Lady Goes Lacrosse.
Yeah.
No. I'm talking amongst your team. You guys.
Oh.
That's a tough one. I like to say our girl Mercy.
I'd like to say Mercy.
Yeah.
Mercy.
Pretty good job at
Mercy, do you use your platform to promote Lady Gov's
yeah,
lacrosse?
I definitely do.
Okay. Here's the one that the guys really struggled with because there were so many. Who's the best dancer?
The best dancer.
Dancer? Oh.
And does that translate over into a TikTok game?
There's a few girls in the field that like to dance on the field, but the TikTokers is Courtney and Mercy.
Courtney and Mercy.
Yes.
I would definitely say if you look after a goal, you can definitely see those celebrations kind of.
Mm-hmm.
So they have the best celebrations.
Yes.
Okay. Last question. Who has the best nickname on the team?
Oh, there's a lot of those.
Ooh.
Oh.
Oh, we have Nikki Nicole.
Yeah, Nikki
Yes.
Nicole.
Nikki Nicole. Her middle name is not Nicole. And you'll hear Nikki Nicole, and that's her name in lacrosse. That's what we call her. Oh, and we have Purse, who her name is Priscilla Plemons, so we call her Pee-Pee. That's what we call her on the field.
The only thing better than that was when your football team brought on AK-47. Do you guys know him?
I wish I did. I need to know who that is.
Number 47 on your team, I think.
47.
His initials were AK.
Okay.
Oh, Aiden Klein, probably.
Yeah, probably
Yep.
Aiden Klein.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, you're welcome for bringing you extended winning streaks because
Thank you.
that's what these do.
Thank
so
you.
that's
Thank
what
you.
this segment is. So, please be sure to post the fun things that we've done here with you today. You'll have your pictures.
100%. Yes.
Share the sports page with your friends.
Absolutely.
We will.
Thank you guys so much
Yes,
for having
thank you.
us.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Brian's always got the hard-hitting questions. We're thankful for that. But it's time for a break, and when we return, it's the Boyd Sports Spotlight. You're listening to the sports page, the best in Blount County sports. And now stay tuned for some of our sponsors.
Since 1925, Anderson Lumber in Alcoa has proudly served and supported our local communities. But did you know Anderson Lumber is so much more than a lumber store? You can stop in anytime and see our incredible kitchen showroom. From floors to cabinets and everything in between, Anderson Lumber's experts can help you design your dream kitchen. And then our install team will make it a reality. For anything home, we welcome you to visit Anderson Lumber in Alcoa or shop over 67,000 items online at AndersonLumberCompany.com. Anderson Lumber, since 1925.
Aubrey's is known for real comfort, real food, real good. But remember, Aubrey's is also really into Blount County. Aubrey's Maryville has been a strong supporter of local schools and sports programs for more than 15 years. From baseball to football, dance teams, and marching bands, Aubrey's has helped schools and youth programs generate thousands of dollars. It's easy for us to do because it's the right thing to do. So the next time you're looking to choose a place to eat, we hope you'll choose Aubrey's. Real comfort, real food, real good. See what's on the menu at aubreysrestaurants.com.
We all want our loved ones to be safe. Denso in Maryville is at the forefront of creating technology for safer vehicles. Join the automotive industry with Denso in a fast, challenging, clean, and safe environment. They offer great benefits and competitive pay, as well as a convenient on-site healthcare facility, cafes, fitness center, and more. Start your future now. Entry-level production positions start at $16 an hour for second or third shift. Visit densocareers.com/Maryville to learn more and apply.
Merlin's Music World in Maryville is owned and operated by Dylan Davis and has been a fixture in Maryville since 1987. Guitars, amplifiers, lessons, sound system, and video system installations are products available at Merlin's. Merlin's also offers a 24-track digital recording studio featuring audio engineer Rusty Chambers. Visit Merlin's at 1920 East Lamar Alexander Parkway or call 977-0093.
It's payday, and on payday, you want to have access to your money right away. When you enroll for direct deposit at Knoxville TVA Employees Credit Union, your money comes to you with no waiting. It's the fastest and most secure way to get paid. Getting set up is easy. All you need is your account number and our routing number. Find out more at tvacreditunion.com.
Join us now.
Federally insured by NCUA. Some restrictions apply. Ask for details.
The Bluetick Tavern is home to the tastiest pizza in Blount County. Try our signature Broadway barbecue pizza, grilled chicken and red onions covered in mounds of mozzarella. Or sink your teeth into our one-of-a-kind chicken and bacon pizza, made with an olive oil base, grilled chicken, bacon, red onions, and covered in Brussels petals. The Bluetick Tavern also has salads, sandwiches, and the area's largest beer selection. Regularly recognized as the best pizza in Blount County, it's the Bluetick Tavern, located at 128 West Broadway in downtown Maryville. Waters Equipment is your...
And welcome back to the Bluetick Tavern in Maryville. This is Marcus Fitzsimmons filling in for Mike Edwards. And it's time for the Boyd Sports Spotlight. But
Boyd Sports Spotlight. That's kind of...
and which basically means this is where I introduced Donnie to do some of his national headlines of some of the best things he has ripped from the gritting pages of the last week's sports news.
Indeed. All right, let's do it. Our weekly sports headlines, and as always, they are brought to you by Fast Signs.
I was waiting for that.
What do you think, boss? The NFL's competition committee is recommending an amended rule for the upcoming season that bars the technique known as the hip drop tackle.
Players who use it would incur a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down for the opponent. Owners will vote on the proposal at next week's league meeting in Orlando, Florida. Here's the specific language, and this is a quote. It is a foul if a player uses the following technique to bring a runner to the ground. A, grabs the runner with both hands or wraps the runner with both arms, and B, unweights himself by swiveling and dropping his hips and or lower body, landing on or trapping the runner's leg or legs at or below the knee. End of quote. Now, the NFL Players Association issued a statement Wednesday that read, quote, "The players oppose any attempt by the NFL to implement a rule prohibiting a swivel hip drop tackle. We call on the NFL to reconsider this rule." End of quote. The league says that hip drop tackles result in an injury rate of 20 to 25 times higher than a normal tackle.
You know, if the players don't agree, I'm going to go, if you ask me between the two, between the league office and the players are generally know a lot more about what goes on the field than the guy sitting in the office watching from the skybox.
They do, and the players don't agree with it because it's a surefire tackle. I guarantee you they like it because it's the best way, in their opinion, to bring a player down.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But if the Players Association represents both offense and defense, they represent all the players.
Right.
So the players obviously do not feel like they are being injured more by this type of a tackle.
Well, the league says it is. They said it's a 20 to 25 times, you're 20 to 25 times higher, more likely to be injured by a hip drop tackle than you are by a regular tackle. Now, what is a regular tackle?
I don't know. What you described is pretty much a regular tackle when you're not hitting them directly forward, which you can't lower your helmet for already.
It's when you grab the player around the...
Now, if you want to say they can't body slam them, I'm all right with that.
Yeah.
When you pick them up off the ground.
And swivel around the body is what it is.
But
and they land on their legs.
That description is...
It's a little vague to me.
It leaves a lot of room for interpretation.
It does.
And every time we get into a lot of room for interpretation, like what's a catch, all it does is spark controversy.
Yes.
Is that a flag or is it not? Should it have been flags or should it have not?
But you look up, you go on the internet and look up hip drop tackle. And it's according to them, according to the league, there is a pretty much a textbook hip drop tackle.
Well, if there's a textbook for it, maybe just take it out of the textbook.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. Well, anyway, we'll see how it goes. We'll see if they pass it, if they pass the recommendation. And if they do, there's going to be, yeah.
Oh, we have, yep, Brian's got the video.
I can see it.
I just have issues with the description.
There we go, in slow motion. There's your hip drop tackle, and that's the one I looked at last night.
Is that you can
Bengals.
That could be used.
Yeah.
That could be enforced on a normal tackle where the player is caught from behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking at that, it's the same tackle that ended Bo Jackson's career. I mean,
I get where they're going, but I'm like, if
how do you as a player, how do you stop that?
How do you stop it? And how does the ref supposed to enforce it and apply it equally?
I'm not sure if anybody's gone back and watched any old NFL games, but I remember when Ken Stabler died, they just happened to show some of his highlights. They played a different game back then.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, people were getting murdered.
Yeah.
And I understand to try to protect quarterbacks. I totally get that. But it's getting to the point where is it even football anymore? You can't tackle this way. You can't do that.
Really.
Yeah, I mean, even watching old college football games, every tackle could have been targeting nearly everyone, it felt like.
Can you imagine Butkus?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, Dick Butkus.
Yeah. Butkus used to half kill him when he tackled him.
He did.
Well, anyway.
He only needed to hit you once, but that was all he was going to get. He would have gotten today.
You better
he'd
believe
been out
it.
of the game immediately after.
But all these rules have been around now long enough where it's trickled down to Pee Wee football through high school to college. Now they're getting more used to the way that game is played. But if you go back and watch college football game from the 90s, it's a different sport.
It sure is.
It really is a different sport.
It sure is.
Yeah.
Well, only 5 cars finished on the lead lap Sunday at Bristol in the NASCAR Cup Series race.
That's
Food
what
City
Bristol's
500.
supposed to be.
That's right. Which was won by Denny Hamlin, his 4th victory at the famed short track. Hamlin passed his Joe Gibbs Racing teammate, Martin Truex Jr., with only a few laps left to claim the checkered flag. Brad Keselowski took 3rd, Alex Bowman was 4th, and Kyle Larson finished out the top 5. Tomorrow, the boys go racing on the first road course of the season at COTA Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. Last year's winner was Tyler Reddick.
That's how Bristol should be.
I agree.
You should have 4 guys looking like Burt Reynolds and Smokey and the Bandit up at the front.
Yes,
and
sir.
everybody else should look like the cop cars with the tops ripped off and doors missing.
Yeah.
And somebody holding the helmet on the driver for him.
Yep.
I mean, that's just what Bristol is.
That's what it's supposed to be like.
That's what the best Bristol races are.
I agree. Well, NBC's coverage of the opening ceremony of the Paris Olympics on July 26th, starting at noon, will be hosted by a familiar NBC host, Mike Tirico. Joining Mike in the booth for the opening ceremony are a couple of faces that are new to the Olympics, yet are instantly recognizable worldwide. Peyton Manning and Kelly Clarkson. Yeah. NFL legend Manning is a Pro Football Hall of Famer who won 2 Super Bowls during his 18-year career in the league. He is now the co-host of Monday Night Football with Peyton and Eli.
And a great insurance spokesman. And
Yeah,
stop by
you
the
name
locker
it.
room this week.
Yeah, you name it. Clarkson is a 3-time Grammy and multi-Emmy Award winner through her NBC talk show, The Kelly Clarkson Show. Tirico said, "Our goal is just for Peyton and Kelly to be Peyton and Kelly. Just want them to be themselves." And they'll do that, too. They'll get a lot of viewers with those two.
If they let
in
them
the
be
booth.
themselves, it will be entertaining. If they start trying to give them scripts about everybody's sob story, that is not either one of their fortes.
Nope. But if they do that, if they let them be themselves, it'll be a good show. You're right. Well, that's all for this week's sports headlines. As always, brought to you by Fast Signs.
Wow. Never heard that one before.
Hang around a while. You'll hear it every week. Now let's bring the Boyd Sports Spotlight into sharp focus. Back to you, Marcus.
Well, just quickly, because we're on a little bit of time crunch, and I love the fact William Blunt was able to stay as long as they could.
Yeah, that was a good segment.
Well, there's another game getting ready to tip off in about 20 minutes. Lady Vols will open their NCAA tournament run with Green Bay today. And I wish we had Troy here because he could probably speak to this from a different perspective. But it feels like this is like an AAU tournament because every coach at the Raleigh Pod has all worked for each other and been on staffs with each other and coached at those schools. And there is a lot of interplay with the coaches' familiarity with each other. And their styles reflect that. So I would like to hear Troy's perspective on if that influences or over-influences how you might coach against somebody who knows you. But, I mean, you've got Wes Moore at NC State, who Kelly Harper coached for as an assistant. So she uses some of his style, some of Pat's style, but it feels like if the Lady Vols and NC State get there, that NC State Coach Moore may have a little bit look inside of Kelly's head as to what – I just wonder what kind of impact that has if you've got that kind of familiarity between your coaches.
Yeah, I hope Kelly and them come out playing really tough. That was a tough loss against South Carolina. I just can't get that one out of my mind.
They've had 2 weeks to think about it.
Yeah.
And they've been, Kelly's taken a lot of flack over those 2 weeks.
She has taken a lot of
flack.
flack.
It's not justified, but I'm saying she's taken a lot of flack. You just wonder with that layoff that they have now between the end of the women's tournament and the start of the women's NCAA tournament that you can get healthy, but you can also lose your edge over that point if just sitting around for 2 weeks.
Yeah. And also maybe some of them were banged up, maybe injury-wise, maybe that helps a little bit too. But yeah, I hope they come out strong and don't let that game against South Carolina affect them. Just kind of have to go on to the next game and play hard, and hopefully, that Key will have a good game and block a lot of shots. It's so hopefully they come out, and play a really good game. I'm hoping Kelly, does enough to help the team get through this. I know it's been probably a tough 2 weeks. I'm sure it has been.
Don, you feel like, granted, during the regular season, Lady Vols probably did not play to the level to be a host. But
no,
the fact that they took South Carolina to the last shot, not once, pretty much twice.
Yeah.
Do you feel like maybe they should have been at least considered, because where they're put, they're basically 10 teams back from being a host site. Do you feel like maybe they should have been considered for one, given what Knoxville can have, which does play into being a host site in the NCAA tournament for women?
Well, that's the thing, Marcus. I think that the draw is the thing for Tennessee. The big arena, the fan base,
the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, the Hall of Fame being located where it is. All those things you got to take into consideration, and I don't think all those things were taken into consideration this year.
I feel like the women's game has gotten to the point that the whole pod system may need to be re-examined.
Yeah,
and maybe it's matured to the point that it can be done like the men. Maybe not the same way, because there's a whole lot of travel involved. Doesn't necessarily need to be there, but you could do something similar, but without having host schools per se.
Sure.
You could have campuses that were hosting events, but didn't necessarily have to be the team there. You don't have to give them the home field,
right?
Per se.
Right.
So, because I remember when Knoxville hosted one of the men's regionals, and Duke was playing over here in the Sweet 16 and Elite 8.
Yeah, I went to that.
It was a great game. I think it was 94, 95.
I still got that T-shirt.
Oh.
What, the one that says "I hate Laettner"?
That was when Grant Hill, and I think his dad was there. He was a big football player back in the day. I remember he was in the stands. And
but I feel like that it's evolving. That needs to be expedited a little bit and considered. Just because you've got venues where I didn't necessarily want to see the Lady Vols here, but I would like to see a women's pod at Knoxville and take advantage of what Knoxville has to offer.
I think you're right. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Knoxville's a great basketball city. It's got the facilities. It's got the tradition. And it's got the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame. You're right. So, what more can you ask? Great host city.
So the question for this tournament is it still, can anybody beat South Carolina? Is this like a UConn run from 10 years ago where you have an undefeated team and they've had a scare or two, but they're 5 wins away from a national championship in the crowning moment?
You never say never, but that they're an awfully good basketball team.
Yeah.
Well, the other question is, this tournament is, what is the LSU coach going to wear onto the court for this game? I mean, they're even ranking these in the paper, like what are her best outfits and what are the projections of what she will wear, how LSU plays when she's wearing sequins versus feathers. I mean,
she's the Elton John of women's college basketball.
I'm sure it'll be expensive, whatever it is.
Well, for our women's coach, I'm not saying that there should be the disparity there is. She's well paid for the women's ranks.
Yes, she is.
Oh, yeah.
She can afford some feathers.
Indeed.
I guess can I steal a moment for Alcoa? Can we go back to
Yeah,
Lewis for a minute?
let's do that.
Sure.
Okay. Because when we finished show last week, I drove back over to cover the game that night, and I felt like Coach Collins played me on Friday night, because the entire semifinal win that went into overtime was all about Javon Carter. He put up 42 points. He's taking the ball to the hoop against triple teams. Not as an efficient night as he usually has, but he was the entire focus of the Alcoa game. And we get into the media room, and Coach Collins says, it's just a great feeling and a confidence when you can go onto the court and know that the best player on that court plays for you. That was one of the quotes he handed out.
Wow.
And then we get to the championship game on Saturday, and I'm coming back over and thinking, okay, they're going to need Javon to win this MVP and put up 40-something. And the first couple of minutes, I'm like, Javon's not as involved. The first quarter, he's put up 4 shots. Meanwhile, Alcoa was winning opened up a lead. Brady Hahn's knocked down threes.
Mm-hmm.
Jameer Dean is dunked.
Yeah.
Eli Graff and Owens have both made big plays. And I'm like, they've set these guys up because they're double and triple teaming Javon. And it's everybody else that's killing them.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
I was really surprised because, I watched it last year against Douglas, and I was afraid it was going to be bad this year for Alcoa. Because I figured, after them losing last year, they'd really have it in for them. But I don't know. To me, they didn't look quite as strong this year or as aggressive as they did the year before against Alcoa. But Alcoa, like you said, they spread out the scoring. The Hahn kid was hitting threes. And, of course, Carter, he kind of took over after the second half and had a fantastic game. But I'm proud of my Tornadoes.
I mean, he still led all scorers. He had 28.
Yeah.
Still turning MVP.
But it had a lot of, like I say, scoring from everybody. Even Owens, he got some big baskets underneath there.
He had some huge rebounds and putbacks
some
down
great
there.
rebounds.
He did.
Nice second chance baskets.
He takes up some space. Let me tell you.
He does, and he was outsized. And like you said, last year in those kind of matchups, they needed Brandon Winton just for his size.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
To balance that length.
And I was worried when he wasn't going to be playing this year. I really was. I thought that would be something when they got back to state that they would miss him. But Douglas just didn't seem as aggressive. I mean, I was picturing them coming out and just going full blast at Alcoa, and I never did really feel that.
Well, let me tell you something. Their mission, and I saw it. I saw what they were trying to do. Their mission was stop Javon Carter at all costs.
Yeah.
If they had to foul out the entire starting lineup.
And they almost did.
They almost did.
Yeah. But
stop him at all costs.
But what a career he has had. I mean, you think about that. The
3,
state championships, 3,000 points, 2 MVPs. I mean.
And they didn't stop him, but they put the brakes on him a little bit.
Well, they did, but he was very good at passing out of it.
But he was cool. He was calm. He didn't get rattled.
No.
He played his game.
And I went back to look. 10 of 13 from the field. You can't be much more efficient.
No, he was efficient.
Exactly.
And just, he said
he didn't go off for a 45-point game, but he was efficient, and he dished the ball off, and he let his teammates back him up, which is what it's all about.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
where is he going to school?
Penn State.
Penn State.
Really?
Yeah.
And it was an enjoyable run. I will say this for TSSAA. If I had to make notes, you got to have somebody to wipe that floor because these kids are playing so hard, playing so aggressive, and they're hitting the floor a lot.
Yes.
And we saw several times people slip where they were getting into spots because there was nobody to wipe and sweep and do that sort of stuff. Peggy Bratt got out there a couple times and did it.
Yeah.
And let me give a shout out to Peggy.
Oh, Peggy's phenomenal.
I'm not going to say what they did was wrong, but I will say it was very smart on Alcoa's part. Jovan got a cramp in the fourth quarter.
Yes, he did.
Everybody was really concerned, but he immediately calls Eli over to help him stretch and make it apparent that it's a cramp.
Mm-hmm.
So the officials have called timeout. So they're doing a break. So Peggy comes out and continues to help him stretch it on the court while he's laying there.
Mm-hmm.
Then they get him up and take him over to the bench. They've already stretched him for a good 3 minutes without having to call a timeout.
Yeah.
They get him over to the bench. By the time we get play restarted and they play, he was out less than a minute of game time, even though he spent 5 or 6 minutes getting recuperated.
That time that he was out, Douglas come roaring back a little bit. So
they were hungry. They put up. They scored 6 in that minute stretch.
Exactly. So it's a good thing Carter. They got
but
Carter back in there.
I wanted to give Peggy that that shout out for being very smart, not costing Alcoa a timeout there.
Yeah, that was huge.
But also, in the first quarter, most people did not notice this, but the first basket Jovan scored on a layup, the Douglas defender went over the top of his head and stuck his fingers up Jovan's nose. Wow. So he came away from it with this bloody nose, and rather than pull him out of the game, he ran by the bench, and Peggy literally shoved the cotton up his nose as he's running by the bench. I mean, it was a moving fly. It took a very skilled athletic trainer to pull off that.
Hit a moving target like
Yeah,
that.
that's good stuff.
That's a good job.
But it's time for a break. When we return, it's the Shelter Insurance Bold Predictions. You're listening to the Sports Page, and now stay tuned for the best in local sports.
Waters Equipment is your East Tennessee New Holland agriculture and construction dealer. Waters Equipment has been serving Blount County for 48 years and has 2 locations in Maryville for sales and service for New Holland equipment. Offering shop and field service for trucks and equipment of all brands, Waters offers equipment rentals for New Holland skid steer, Mini X, and tractors. Call 238-9000 for your rental needs. That's 238-9000. Waters Equipment New Holland, excellence in service. For over 50 years and 3 generations, the people of Blount County have trusted Stevenson Tire with their vehicles and their families. Our mission has always been simple: to provide quality products at reasonable prices with exceptional customer service. Featuring tire products from Michelin, BF Goodrich, Uniroyal, Bridgestone, Firestone, and Yokohama, Stevenson Tire also offers alignment and brake services at affordable prices. Stevenson Tire Company, 2411 East Broadway Avenue in Maryville. Call 983-1621 or online at StevensonTire.net.
Your newspaper, that's right. The Daily Times is your newspaper, tailored to where you live, emphasizing the things that affect you and keeping track of the people and players in our community. The award-winning Daily Times can be delivered each morning right to your door or inbox with the latest in local news and sports. For a 30-day free trial offer, call 981-1100 and begin enjoying your life, your times, every day with the Daily Times.
The Roger L. Newman Company began in 1984 with a vision of providing Blount County with excellent heating and cooling service. Mr. Newman also wanted a real business. No gimmicks and no high-pressure sales. They just fix it or replace it. They want to stay within your budget and make you comfortable. Their motto still stands true today: call us first, we'll be there. Call Roger L. Newman Company at 982-5446 or visit online at rogerlnewman.com. Cooler temperatures are approaching. Upgrade your furnace now for as little as $50 a month.
And welcome back to the Bluetick Tavern in downtown Maryville, and it is already starting to fill up in here today, and it's beginning to smell really good. But this is Marcus Fitzsimmons filling in for Mike Edwards. He of the injured and lame and hurting and can use some prayers to support to get Mike. We got to do whatever it takes to get Mike back here next week.
That's right.
Because nobody can fill in for the Gunner when it comes to hosting this show. And Shelter Insurance bold predictions. And I'm going to start off with one, and I'm going to let Dwayne lead into this. But people missed it. We were on broadcast TV this week.
Yes, actually you were.
Yeah, I saw that.
Our calls to Tony White got a picture with Tony and you and Mike and the Goatees logo.
Exactly, and I was going
to
say,
WBIR.
What about the shirts? Were the shirts on there?
I actually.
I don't know if they were wearing the shirts.
Oh yeah.
I was actually going to say how this all came about too, is because it's one of your all segments. I posted it on my Facebook page, and then I put it on another site where I used to work. And actually, a supervisor from there called me and said, "Hey, what can I do to help?" And then he made some phone calls. So he made a phone call to WBIR. So then, fast forward till this week, it came out a good segment about Tony, and it actually did have your all's. I had Mike and me and Tony in the photo there.
We had our backdrops here on.
Nice.
So it turned out really good, and did a 4-minute segment on WBR Channel 10, and hopefully that will get some interest, for Tony. Like I say, I think he has been forgotten over the years, but his statistics speak for themselves.
We can say this because he's not here this week because he's in Charlotte.
Yeah.
No, he's not promoting himself.
No,
this is more about us recognizing that there's a gap in UT's basketball legacy that needs to be addressed.
Exactly. He never approached me. This is just something I got to looking at it, and I couldn't believe it, that his jersey had been retired, and why not? So hopefully, with your all's help, y'all have been generous enough to let us come on the show and everything. And Tony's a fun guy to be around, he knows a lot about sports, and but he is so deserving, if you look at his statistics, it's just amazing. We're still talking about him today. And with Connect, his name has been mentioned a whole lot now because of Connect, and could he possibly break his scoring record and all that. So hopefully it'll happen. I think it will. I think next year is what I'm hoping for. He'll have his jersey retired. So.
Okay, we'll cross the unbroken fingers. But
That's right.
It's time for another round of What's More Likely.
Yes, let's do it.
And we're going to start off with one that just goes what Dwayne was saying. Which is more likely? Dalton Connect breaks Tony White's single-game scoring record in the next 8 days, or Kentucky and Calipari get broken apart in the next 8 days? Which of those is more likely to happen?
Well, they'd have to pay him a whole lot of money. 30-something million still on his contract, I believe.
This is the SEC. We pay more.
I don't believe Connect's going to break it just because of the way they play, because Barn takes him out quite a bit to let him rest a little bit. I just don't think it'll happen. I mean, he might get, he could get 40 or 40-something, but
51.
I don't think he'll get 51. I just honestly, the way they play, they've got a lot of players coming in and out. To be able to break that record, you'd have to be in a unreal zone, and then your players are kind of helping you out too. Like, hey, let's get the ball to him. So I don't think that's going to happen.
Brian, which one's more likely? Connect hit 51 or Kentucky and Calipari split up?
Well, I've listened to Kentucky fans ready to fire Calipari after a national championship. So I think stuff like that's going on now, who knows? I think he could be gone. And plus, I was there when Tony broke the record, so I want to maintain that. Hey, I was there when Tennessee's scoring record was set. So I'm kind of rooting the other way.
Donnie?
Kentucky and Cal say sayonara.
Where will he end up? Will he go to the NBA?
Why? It's a pay cut.
Yeah. Is it really? Is that the way? Yeah.
It really is for him.
Yeah, it would be.
But no more recruiting. That's just got to wear you out.
That's true.
Especially today with NIL. It's got to wear you out.
It does. Goodness.
I'm going to tell you my point. I'm going to go with Donnie. I think the breakup is more likely between the two, but I will say Dalton Connect is capable of hitting. I think in the right game and situation.
Yeah. I think he's capable.
To get to the Elite Eight, I think they could see that carrying them with that kind of game might be the possibility. So I'm going to say more likely Kentucky is done with Calipari.
Yeah, that's more likely.
Which is more likely? We'll start with Brian on this because you might need to text your daughter. What's more likely? That in the Final Four we will see 2 number 1 seeds play, or we will see 2 double-digit seeds play?
Ooh. Hang on just a second. Let me ask my daughter.
Okay, we'll skip. Donnie?
Okay.
Which is more likely? 2 number 1 seeds play in the Final Four, or 2 number 12 or double-digit seeds play in the Final Four?
I would think that it's more likely that we're going to see 2 double-digit seeds play.
Going with the double-digit?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm going with the double digits.
Dwayne, what would your call be? What's more likely?
I'd say single.
Single. He's going with the 1 seed.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, my pick is that given what happened last year, where we saw only we didn't see a single 1 seed make the Final Four. Mm-hmm. I am going to say it's more likely we're going to see double-digit seeds play each other, especially how this first round is open. We'll go back to Brian. I don't think he's got an answer yet.
Okay. She just says that oak trees are just very strong. And I think that she says the double digits because the mascots are better.
Okay. Okay.
I like her reasoning.
Yep.
I like her reasoning there.
I like that.
So we got time for one more, Donnie?
Yeah, real quick.
Okay, really quick. Which is more likely? Bruce Pearl gets a big ball of calamine lotion for his poison ivy today, or the Florida Gators get some aloe for their last-minute Colorado burn? So it's going to be calamine lotion or aloe. Which is more likely?
Calamine lotion.
Calamine.
I'm going to hope for the calamine because I want the Gators to suffer.
Okay, calamine.
I like that, too. I'm going to go for the calamine lotion as well.
So that one's unanimous. Everybody's for calamine lotion. The Florida Gators can just get it burned. And that's the final whistle. That's do it for today's edition of the Sports Page. Thanks to Aaron Ishmael back at Loud Media, our host of the Bluetick Tavern, and all of our sponsors. For Donnie Moore, Mike Edwards, Troy Provo-Heron, and Tony White, and Brian Johnson. Until next Saturday, this is Marcus Fitzsimmons wishing everyone good sports.